Welcome back to the Toy Lounge, and in today's review we're going to be looking at the fans subscription service Sonic Fighters Lieutenant Falcon. That's right, I have finally received my very first fans subscription service g.i.joe figure. And I did have to order this online from overseas, and first thing I'll have to say is it cost me a lot of moolah. Very expensive, but a price I was willing to pay for a character and a figure that I adore. Lieutenant Falcon was my favorite g.i.joe figure back in the 80s when he was first released in that green camo gear, and I think that was one of the main reasons why he appealed to me. He was more of that realistic, military figure, and back in the 80s, being an 80s kid, always being into military toys, Lieutenant Falcon was the first character that really appealed to me. And then later on the years, g.i.joe started getting a bit crazy with wacky colours and stuff. But later on in the 90s, they did release a Sonic Fighters Lieutenant Falcon, and the colours on the figure were pretty much what you see here, although he had a crazy coloured backpack. And in this version, they've kind of kept the tone down a little with the colours, not to make them too crazy looking. I don't have the original card back of the g.i.joe A Real American Hero Falcon, but I have something close, which is an Action Force International Heroes card back. Now the card is slightly different from the Real American Hero line. The obvious one is the Action Force International Heroes, but the artwork of Falcon is exactly the same. However, in this newer version, we have a very different artwork for Falcon. The noticeable thing is the longer sleeves and just the different web gear that he has on. Now, we did, from memory, I remember the comic 2-pack with Lieutenant Falcon and Nemesis Enforcer, that horrible Falcon figure that we got. The artwork for Falcon is very similar to this, although they've just redesigned a few things as well with the web gear. But the shotgun here, which varies from the original artwork, was also the same on the Nemesis Enforcer 2-pack. So yeah, just something I thought I'd mention. It's great to have these two figures in my collection. I will do a review of this Falcon. I've kept him sealed, but over the years the plastic shell has started to split and I've had to tape it up. And I'm getting older in my years, so I thought may as well open this guy up and enjoy him. Very dusty, you may notice. But yeah, stay tuned for another video. I'll get this guy opened up as well, and we can compare the two figures. But for now, we're looking at the G.I. Joe Club exclusive Lieutenant Falcon, and being a G.I. Joe Club exclusive fans subscription service figure, I thought twice about opening this guy up, but I thought, hey, I like to enjoy my figures, and let's live a little and open this guy up and have a look, and you guys can have a look as well and see how great this figure really is. But before we open him up, we'll just enjoy him a little bit more on his card back. Just give you a closer look on the card back. You've got the g.i.joe club.com exclusive logo in the top corner there. Sonic Fighters green beret. The code name Lieutenant Falcon is kind of tucked under the clamshell there, very hard to see. And at the bottom here, you'll just notice in the very fine print, if I can get it to focus, backpack with sound effects not included. So I guess they're referring to the original backpack that was released in the original Sonic Fighters Falcon, which had sound effects. And they're just letting you know, hey, our budget did not account for that. So no sound effects with this backpack here. On the back, if you want to have a read up, just hit the pause button and have a nice read up of Lieutenant Falcon, and a larger version of the artwork that you get on the front. So yeah, just again pointing out, Lieutenant Falcon in this version has long sleeves. The original Sonic Fighter had short sleeves, which was pretty much a repaint of the first figure. But they have changed the artwork to represent that. You'll notice the difference in the short sleeve and long sleeve on the artwork there as well. And I think that works just fine. I have no issue with that. Okay, I'm very excited. I want to open this guy up. Not having second thoughts about it, not at all. Very excited to open this guy up, and let's do this. Let's have a closer look at Lieutenant Falcon. And we're back with Lieutenant Falcon outside of his packaging. And again, I'll repeat, no regrets about opening this guy up. Maybe I keep repeating that to convince myself, but still no regrets. And just looking at this figure and having him in my hand, I have to say he's my favorite FSS figure ever released. And for the final 12, I'm glad they did this guy. What's your favorite? Let me know. For me, it's Lieutenant Falcon. Mainly because it's, for me, the definitive modern take of the character, as Hasbro never released, for me, a definitive version in the modern era. I wish they did, but they never got around to it, so I'm glad the G.I. Joe Club was able to give us this. I do wish he also came in a green camo variant, maybe, because I'm glad they released this style of camo. Gives him more of that modern urban gear look. I mean, these are modern times. We don't fight wars in the jungles anymore. We fight them in the cities, the concrete jungles. So that's why I don't mind this take on the character. Really nice design. He comes with a nice handful of accessories, but we'll look at those in a moment. I'm really excited to have a look at this guy. So the same head sculpt as we've seen before, with the I believe it was a Night Force. Hasbro also released an exclusive Marauders set. I think that was the first time we saw this head sculpt. And there was another 50th anniversary one where he was all in black. But this is definitely my favorite version. Mostly because I like the sculpt that they used. I like the parts. When I first saw this torso piece, I believe it was the Dusty figure, the first Dusty figure we received in the modern era. I remember seeing this torso and thinking this would be great for Falcon. The skirt piece is removable, and in the previous version it was the same torso. They just didn't use the skirt piece. They used the hole inside to peg another version of some web gear that was included with him. But I do prefer the skirt around the waist, more true to his original release back in the day. The beret is removable. Try to get a focus in there. I believe that's a B. Sits very snug on his head. I like the hair. Love the hair. Nice slick hair. And I've always been a big fan of this head sculpt. That nice square jawline. Always represented an alpha male and someone with leadership qualities, I guess. Just look at that face. This is someone, you know, he's in charge. He's looking after things. He's got your back. Yeah. Love it. I love the scarf as well. Nothing we haven't seen before, but looks so accurate to his original incarnation in figure form. I like the web gear as well. It's not too crazy, just simple. The arms have good movement. The paint overall is just great. I'd probably, if I was to nitpick, it's just the paint on the hands is very, there's a rough texture to it. I don't know if you can see it on camera. But I wish it had kind of a better finish on it. You can probably pick it up there. Very grainy paint on the hands. But I'm not too fussed about that. We'll just go quickly through his articulation. His head does rotate all the way around, and up and down movement as well. Not too much, but it's there. And it's not really hindered by the scarf either. Shoulders go out that far. They rotate all the way around. Bend at a nice 90-degree angle. The hands, they're different on each side. So one will bend that way, and another will bend inwards like that. That's more or less to get a better grip of the weapons that he holds. Do they rotate at the wrist? Yes, they do. There's rotation at the wrist as well. That goes for both, I believe. Or no, maybe I'm wrong on that one. No, it rotates. It's just a little tight. He has the mid-torso cut that rotates, full 360. And also on the waist. And I do believe this was the first torso to do that, with the mid-torso cut and the waist swivel. That's why I was a big fan of this torso when I first saw it on Dusty. I believe it's Dusty. I'm pretty sure it was Dusty. Legs go out to about there, which is okay by me. Single joint at the knee. Is it a single joint? Yeah, it is. It's a single joint at the knee. But you get a decent bend there. And rotation at the ankle, and also bends forward. And I believe I also missed the rotation at the elbow, so it does rotate as well if you like, as well as bend. Yeah, very glad I got this figure. Definitely, if you're a Falcon fan, you need to get this guy. And I know these are the final 12 from the G.I.Joe club, but one can only hope we see Hasbro bring the g.i.joe line back, and now that they have this base figure, we can maybe get some repaints in the future, maybe with the green camo as well. One can only hope. He comes with a machine gun, which has a scope. And he also comes with his trusty shotgun. You can't have Falcon without his shotgun. Now, this isn't the original shotgun he came with back in the day, just to let you guys know. But if you have the original Falcon, you can always swap it around if you like. Now let's get to his backpack, which is also doubles up as a propelling device, which will make Falcon soar through the air. I guess that was his role as a sonic fighter, which I never really cared about. You get this blue piece that plugs in like so. You've got the tiny little pegs inside that arch. You can see them there, and you have these grooves at the bottom of this blue piece, so you've got to make sure they fit into that. Just give it a bit of force. You've got to force things in. There we go. That fits in like so. And we grab the propeller piece, and I'm assuming you just, there we go. Nice little feature there. Now let's see. Okay. I'm going to take a guess as to which way these things go. So I'm looking on the side with the nice details. I'm assuming they'd go on the outside. I'm just guessing. That fits in like so. And we do the same to the other side. And we take Falcon and just maybe raise the web gear a little so we can fit in that plug into the hole nice and snug. And lower the handles down. I think you have to get the angle of the hands right as well. And there we go, that's one. I'm just working this out as I go, guys, so bear with me. Nope. We can do this. Okay. There we go. Just raise the propeller a little. And there you have a Falcon with his Sonic Fighter's backpack. Remembering, of course, no sound effects. And here's Falcon with his included machine gun. It fits well once you get him to hold it. I have to admit, I find these guns a bit hard to fit in a realistic pose. It takes me some time to get them in that pose that I'd like them in. But yeah, that looks pretty good. That's Falcon with his shotgun. And I said we'd look at the base, but it's nothing you haven't seen before. It has the nice G.I.joe logo there. But it's nice that it's included. That's what I've always liked about G.I.joe. They always come with their figure stands, which is pretty cool. And let's see if we can get Falcon in a decent pose. Really happy with this figure, and I must say probably my favourite G.I.joe figure ever released till this day. And if you're a G.I.joe collector, I strongly suggest you pick this guy up. He is the definitive version of Falcon. Until they release the green camo one, of course, which I hope one day will see that a reality. But for now, this one is the guy to pick up. And he does cost a bit, being a subscription service figure. But if you're willing to get rid of some moolah, then please get this guy. You won't regret it. Definitely won't regret it. And that's it for this review, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments section. I appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate all the positive feedback and the negative feedback. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching, guys.